Welcome back, friends. This is part 2 of my introduction to my work called The Rebel. Part 2 of the introduction is called The Rebel Son. To begin a revolution, we need a rebel. Someone who stands up and says, enough. Peter Rollins brought me a new perspective of one of the parables in the Christian scriptures told by Jesus by bringing up a new perspective told by Kester Bruin in his book Mutiny. This reading gives us glimpses of this rebel figure. The tale is about a boy. The boy grows up in a place cut off from the rest of the world. The boy doesn't experience hunger or alienation. He lives with his father and one brother. However, one day everything shifts for the boy, and we can only speculate as to why. Perhaps he was exasperated by the obvious economic gaps between estates such as his father's and the poverty of the general public. Maybe this was his attempt at his revolution. Or maybe he merely needed some breathing space. And possibly he was just bored. Whatever the case, he decides to leave this place of comfort, this isolation from reality. So he does that. He leaves his high status, he leaves his family, he leaves his business, he leaves his father. He takes his money and disappears. He rebels against the system and surrenders his position of privilege. He enters into the world. Another example of this sort of rebel is found in the world of chefs. I've become fascinated with a new show on Netflix called Chef's Table, as well as a few offshoots from the original series. I find it quite interesting how the majority, if not every single one, of these top-ranking chefs have gone through some sort of rebellion. A pushing back against what is perceived as the only way, the one way. This tradition is pushed up against and twisted just a bit. It's twisted, and these chefs, they continue to thrive. Though, I should note, they have to push their way through throngs of naysayers to get there. Now, though I'm no expert when it comes to professional chefs, food prep has been of interest for me for a while. And I will make an attempt at pulling some golden nuggets out of this realm. Now, one episode in particular stars Chef Adain Pessard. Adain has trained for years. He's practiced continually and is continuing to learn. Looking back, he recalls that it didn't take very long till the rewards of his work began to appear. First, his 1 Michelin star rating. Success! Then 2. The 3rd and final star, though, he notes, took some effort. Nevertheless, though, eventually he achieves that as well, and he reaches the top. We have arrived. Right? Success. and now it's time to coast. Well, not really. He further notes that to keep hold on this third Michelin rating, he has to keep working just as hard, if not harder. Full of ambition, full speed ahead, as if there were a fourth star to be achieved. And he does it. His restaurant thrives. It's a glorious dining experience. Until one day, all of his ambition dries right up. Similarly to the boy in the story. You see, a shift begins to emerge, and he realizes he has to get out, to take a break, to think. So he goes on leave. While on his break, he begins to take note of an interest developing toward plants. The variety of plants, the variety of possible ways to prepare the veggies and the fruits and the roots and the legumes. Previously, his restaurant was known mostly for its rich meat platters. When he comes back, however, in his revitalized state of imagination, he has visions of a fully plant-based menu. All the options that brought him to his high ranking are to be discontinued, pulled off the menu. Of course, as previously mentioned, the naysayers rise up and call him out, declaring it's the end of the world as we know it, mocking this veggie man. But he puts his nose to the grindstone. He enters the rebel stage. It's enough.